This is iPhone 17 Pro Max, and this is my living room that I turned into a studio. I'm gonna use two Profoto strobes with the iPhone. I'm gonna use my projector on this wall as my creative lighting, and my wife Suzanne as my model, so I can test out the capabilities of the iPhone 17 Pro Max in like studio-ish environment. Not everyone knows that you can actually use your iPhones with Profoto strobes. Like all you need is the Profoto camera app that connects to your flashes via Bluetooth. I tested this in Iceland last week for like a quick photo shoot also with Suzanne, but now I wanted to create something else. I wanted to create something different, something more interesting, so we can see how the iPhone 17 Pro Max can perform under the circumstances. The app itself allows you to shoot RAW, but the format is called Profoto RAW, and it's only 12 megapixels, despite iPhone's own ProRAW format having 48 megapixels on all three cameras. As far as I know, Apple simply doesn't allow any third-party apps to shoot 48 megapixels. You can only use Apple's own ProRAW and their camera, regular app. I think that's because in order to achieve those 48 megapixels, there's like a huge processing coming. There's like quad Bayer sensor. There's a lot of information like that on Reddit about it. You can dig deeper, but just so you know, we're only getting 12 megapixels with any third-party apps shooting RAW on iPhone. So the plan is, I'm gonna shoot a bit, we're gonna do different scenarios, different lighting setups, and then I'm gonna edit these photos in Lightroom so we can see how good these RAW files actually are. Let's go. So first setup is this projection and one light on the right with the softbox, with this kind of strip softbox 1x3 from Profoto. I actually did intended to record the screen on my phone, but I was recording for like 10 minutes, and of course it just didn't save. I don't know, iPhones, I guess. To give you an idea how the app works and what you can set up when you're shooting, RAWs with the flash on iPhone. So you can have all manual settings except the aperture. Aperture is constant for all of these lenses. So 1x lens has 1.8 aperture, and the 4x lens, which is the main lens that I was using, has f2.8 aperture. So it's like 100 millimeters f2.8 lens. So what else you can change? You can change ISO, you can change the shutter speed, and then you can change the power of the flash and the temperature and the tint of the color, like white balance kind of. So like that's all the settings. It was pretty limiting, but once I got like kind of confident about the juggling these parameters, it was quite fun. So here, for example, I'm shooting one light kind of from the back, and I'm playing up with the shutter speed. So now you can see me changing the shutter speed for slower and slower, so I can try some motion blur. So I'm actually also shaking my phone to get some, I want to have the motion blur on the projection, and then the frozen light, like the light from the flash, freezing my right side of my model. It worked kind of okay, but not perfect. I'll show you in the photos. Then the last setup was this like no projection setup, so simple wall, backlit image from two sides, and it looked great on the phone. But this is where it gets interesting. As soon as I loaded these photos to Lightroom, and the Lightroom started generating previews, like everything that I saw in the camera was gone, and now I see completely different image, and there's no way for me to go back from what I saw on my phone. So let me explain. Okay, I'm sitting at the computer and I'm going over these photos, and there's something wrong with them. I think that because Profoto camera control app is using the actual sensor readout. There is no computational photography, the Apple computational photography in that processing, which is great. Some people hate that computational photography. But what I noticed is that the 4x zoom has really weird noise on the left side of the frame. First, let me show you the images, because I think like the edited images, like the final edited gallery from this photo shoot, now you're looking at it, looks great, but I edited them and I did make that noise disappear. I love these images. They look great. Let me know down in the comments if you like those photos. I think like they don't look like iPhone photos at all.
There's, you know, they look like camera photos. So that's great. Maybe not the most modern camera, maybe not the best camera, but they look fantastic, which is also the proof, which, you know, with the lighting, with the, you know, framing and everything, and the creative idea, you can get like awesome photos regardless of the tool. But if you want to look at the details of these raw photos, take a look at this one. This is the photo that I loaded into Lightroom. This is the DNG file, and it looks completely different from what I saw on my iPhone screen in Profoto camera app when I was taking the photo. Just look at this. Like, this is how it looked on my iPhone. Just look at this. This is how it looked on my iPhone. Completely different. And fun part is when on iPhone, you will click edit. It will look exactly like this. So when you try to edit this raw picture from your gallery on your iPhone, it reverts to this raw version of that picture. Otherwise, it shows you the preview, which is after all the computational photography or applying some profile to it. I'm guessing maybe not computational photography per se, maybe just applying a correction profile to the way it reads the file. But there is no way to load this profile in Lightroom. So what I see in Lightroom is just massive amount of noise, of weird, colorful, bright noise on the left side of the frame, which looks ugly. Right side of the frame is fine. The center of the frame is perfect. There is some noise, but it's a regular noise. I like that noise everywhere else except that left side of the frame. And there's no way to edit this out other than the denoise feature in Lightroom. So the way I would edit this photo would be, you know, apply some look, apply my preset, for example, change tint, change white balance. I see that massive amount of noise on the left. So I would go to detail, denoise, and wait a couple seconds to get it denoised by Lightroom. So this is using AI to just get rid of the noise. Okay, perfect. I would just lower the amount. And now I would say, okay, it's fine. Now it just looks not perfect, but way better. And now I just need to correct for that brightness on the left side of the frame, which I didn't see when I was taking the picture. Because again, that is what the preview was showing me. So my preview was actually incorrect because it wasn't previewing the actual raw photo. I don't know if that makes sense. This is how I feel. So I need to apply a gradient. I need to darken this part out. And preferably, I'm just going to subtract my subject, so my model, my wife, from that gradient. So now the gradient is only applied behind her. So that's probably the way I would edit this photo. So you know you can work it out, you can edit it out, but it looks ugly. And it's like what I noticed, it's not only the case, it's because I thought maybe this is Profoto doing something weird. So I took a picture with an app called HALIDE, which gives you the processed zero version of, you know, the raw. So it just gives like full readout from the sensor without applying anything. And just look at this. It looks bizarre. This is only on 4x camera. So this is only tele camera that I was using, and only tele camera that is getting this massive amount of noise on the left side of the frame. And I do wonder, for those of you who do have those iPhones 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max, can you please install HALIDE app, go like install a trial. I'm not affiliated with them, and take a process zero raw picture of any contrasty scene where you have something bright and something dark in the frame, and just take a look how it looks, because it looks like that also in the iPhone gallery in this case. Maybe even worse. Look at this. It looks bizarre. What is it with that file? I don't know. So this is my finding. Other than that, I like the fact that I could create those photos. I needed to edit them slightly more than I would usually edit them. So I needed to apply that denoise. I needed to, you know, work with those gradients to get rid of that bright portion of the frame. But other than that, I'm happy with portraits. So, you know, it's a tool at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm just curious if this is the case of every iPhone. I've never seen that before, so it's super interesting. Let me know down in the comments, and thanks so much for watching this video. Subscribe, maybe we'll do some update, maybe we'll get some new profiles for the Lightroom for iPhone and it's gonna go away. We'll see. It is what it is, I guess. See you in the next video. Ciao.